'Cause we got so much history. Here with you is where I'm meant to be. Even after all the pain, I'll do it all again. 'Cause we got so much history. We got so much history. Wrapped up in these memories.
Hello people, welcome back to another stream. Today is the Arsenal versus Tottenham preview. I've got a few guests waiting for me. We've got, first of all, Orest, how you doing?
Yes. I'm back. We're back, ladies. We're back. And gentlemen, we're back. Good to be back. Hey, Ollie, thank you for the invitation. And yeah, let's get started.
And Arsenal fan Manny, how you doing, Manny?
Yeah, all good. Glad to have had my meal and just stepping on. And yeah, last night was, it was hard to say, but it was great fun to watch England play from a neutral perspective. But as an England fan, I mean, there's a lot of cause for gratitude, a lot of cause for concern. We get the whole 9 yards. It's never straightforward with us.
Marnie Kamara, man. Who needs Chris Kamara and you got Marnie Kamara?
And finally, Hanno, how you doing, Hanno?
Yes. Come on, Spurs. Come on.
Come on, Spurs! Come on!
Come on.
Goys.
Nah.
But listen, I've never seen a Chelsea fan ever in my life that's wanted Tottenham to win. But that's Hannah for you right there. But listen, I don't know what was Ollie's first topic, but let's see what it is.
I thought we'd talk about this.
Yeah.
Arsenal, England 3, Germany 3. It's a bit annoying. I wanted to win. Orest, you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, listen, I was in the stream with Marnie. Big up yourself for hosting as well. Yeah, man. I was like to Marnie here because we were 2-0 down. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn up my volume at full time and see if there's gonna be any boos. And then at halftime, even Marnie can know this. I said I would bring on Mount. I think it was Mount, Saka, and Tony to change the game. What Southgate did, he brought on Mount, he brought on Saka, and they changed the game. So fair play to him. But nah, what I'm saying is, I said to Marnie before, we cannot just sit back and just counter attack. It won't work like that in the World Cup. We need to stop doing that. We need to go full guns blazing and stop this sit back, hit them in the counter because it won't work. It will not work because, mate, Ollie did that at United. It never works. So Southgate, there's a lot of question marks right now around him or his future. Well, for me, as I said, he has to win it for me, World Cup, for me to change my opinion on him. But as things stand, I'm still Southgate out. And listen, Luke Shaw, yeah, I will give him his credits where it's due. But listen, mate, it would be better if you put that in the Man United shirt instead of an England shirt. But yeah, man, Luke Shaw, you do your thing. Back in Maguire, as always. And Rio Ferdinand, mate, you're a clown as well. But yeah, we won't talk about Rio Ferdinand. But nah. Maguire conceding that penalty. That's you can take Maguire in United shirt and you can take out for English shirt. But listen, Kane, I thought Kane was poor, you know. Me and Money says I thought Kane was a bit poor. Sterling didn't do that much. I mean, no, he missed. No, to be fair, he missed a few one-on-one chances. Midfield, Bellingham. Listen. I said to Mon before the game, Bellingham is the one to watch out, and also the German one, Musiala. So yeah, they played well, and you know what? This game was meaningless, but I said we need to win this game to give us confidence in the World Cup. But it is what it is.
Yeah, Manny, what are your thoughts of the game?
Yeah, big up as well to Oris for joining me on commentary, and yeah. We were having a good back and forth, and it was wonderful to, chat with him about his ideas. And yes, he did say, bring on Mount, bring on Saka, bring on Tierney. Someone like Ward-Prowse as well. I think we were talking about how he could come in and strengthen the midfield because, once again, at the very beginning, I thought Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham looked a little bit weak. The thing about those two is that you could say they grew into the game as the game went on. But the problem is when you're playing against tough opposition, you have to be on your game from the first whistle. And I think it's clear to see that Declan Rice is missing Calvin Phillips. He's missing Calvin's more muscular qualities that he lends to the team, and having someone like Ward-Prowse in the squad. Maybe Henderson will be in the squad, although I don't see him being anything more than a substitute who will get some cheap caps like he did when he was brought on in stoppage time for his 70th cap. I thought Southgate really took the mickey out of him for that. He didn't even bring on Ivan Toney or Connor Cody or Ben Chilwell. But yeah, so as I said, Ollie, at the beginning, there are a lot of things to be a little bit grateful for, but we have to start with the negatives. Certainly, the midfield is a serious issue, and as far as the strikers are concerned, we're still dependent a great deal on Harry Kane. And I do get the idea that sometimes for the big occasions you have to back your bigger stars, but when you select people like Ivan Toney based on his form, and other people like Tammy Abraham, and even in defense the likes of Tomori and Cody, you can't just pick them in the squad and not consider them for game time. And that's pretty much what Southgate has done. He's got his own favourites who are set to play in every single game, and a few others, if they're lucky, will get a few minutes. So we don't know how good Ivan Toney would have been in an England shirt. At least with Abraham, I think he's won a few caps already. And if something were to happen to Kane, then we'd be up the river without a paddle. Certainly in the midfield, if Calvin Phillips won't be going to the World Cup, we have to prepare for that eventuality because he might be going under the knife. So who do we pick along with the likes of Rice and Bellingham and maybe Henderson and a few others? Who could possibly fill in that spot? In defence, I thought Luke Shaw silenced a lot of critics by having a really good game. He, of course, scored the goal and looked very solid indeed. Maguire, you hoped that he would have a decent game for England, at least to take away from his club woes, but he conceded the penalty, looked very clumsy. I mean, forget about Harry Maguire. Even Lizzie Maguire would have been more composed. I don't know if you guys remember Lizzie Maguire, that program which used to come on the Disney Channel. I don't know if it's still being shown in syndication. It's not being shown, but that was a classic. And but Eric was far from dire. He looked good. And again, we saw Southgate sticking to a strategy of 3 at the back with 2 wing backs. It worked in the World Cup, but I just don't know if that's really going to get the best out of a lot of out of our wing backs, who will be forced to do a lot more attacking and a lot more defending and really tiring them out. He really needs to go back to the 4-2-3-1 system, which worked really well. Stick to that system where you have Saka and Sterling on either side of a central attacking midfielder just behind the striker if you want. If you don't want to play a 4-4-2, and just have 4 at the back and be done with it. The only problem is, no, he has got to find a way to fit Harry Maguire in, and that's the problem. But the goalkeepers as well. If Jordan Pickford were to get injured, God forbid, we will really be stuck up a gum tree. Because the less said...
Ramsdale, mate. You got Ramsdale.
No. I mean, I know Ollie favours him.
Because
I know he
so Marnie doesn't rate him.
No, I know he plays for Arsenal, but look, I remember that performance against Hungary, and I have to say that although the second and the third goals, watching them again, he couldn't do much about, I think for the first and the fourth, he really should have done quite a bit better. Because, we're in a situation now where, although Pickford is proven, Ramsdale and Pope, who look set to be second and third goalkeepers, with Henderson now not in the picture, they're still very unproven, and they're going to have to rely on continuing to do the business at club level. But Pickford will pretty much be the number one. But if he gets injured, and if we have the prospect of taking Ramsdale, Pope, and Henderson to the World Cup, oh my days! So there's a lot to consider. The only good things I would say were the fact that the spirit that we showed. I mean, obviously because we're England, we've got the bulldog spirit and so forth, and we always the way we were running, we were always trying to find a way, and the subs did leave an impact in many ways. But we can't. The fact that we're celebrating a 3-3 draw, I think that shows how far we've fallen since the Euros.
Yeah, Hannah, do you want to talk about the game as a neutral?
Is he frozen?
Is he frozen? Yeah. Oh no.
Oh,
he's back. I know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, but so England drew. First of all, or else you need to sort out Luke, that Brighton fan. He's saying Luke Shaw is world class, or he's great for England. He's a legend for England. Just sort him out, mate. Please, come on. Mate. Can't be saying that. That's because he had a good performance now. So yeah, and uh, I'm just so sad that they our Chelsea players can't score goals for us at Wembley like they did for England because if can't Mason Mount score play for us like he did for England in that game. Just please, that's all I want. That's all. Have it. Oh my days, what a finish! Incredible finish. Um, no. Have it announced. Exceptional. Mount changed the game. Suffer. Changed the game. Coach Horace. He knows he's going to be managing Man United soon. And Horace. And then he's going to win Man United in the treble.
Who's
So
that?
yeah, you.
Who's gonna win the treble?
You with Man United.
Listen, if the FA accept my clause, then you never know. One day I'll manage Man United. I'll tell Ronaldo to piss off, and then it will happen. It will happen. But listen, first
Yeah.
things first. We've got a tactical manager now. We've got the best board manager in Manchester. Awais, if you're watching, that's for you. But nah, all jokes aside, listen. If Man United came up to me, I'm not accepting it. I'm being honest. I'm not accepting it because I'm not working under the Glazers, mate. Never. But listen, you never know. If they give me a good pay rise, then we'll see. But
Get
yeah.
your coaching badges first, son. Get your coaching badges
Even
first.
money has a higher chance than me than for coaching. Anyways.
Yeah, and I don't even have my badges yet, so.
Oh yeah, big up Ryan
Big up,
in chat.
man.
Huddersfield
Yeah,
Town
big up,
tweet. Hello, sorry, got caught up with something. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think you can join, but yeah, big up. Finally I'll say my
Last
Go on,
thing on
Hannah.
England.
yeah,
I don't know.
go on.
He's lost.
He's mute his mic. His mic's mute.
Now, one thing I'd like to say actually, he has to call up Sancho for the World Cup now. It's clear evidence that Sancho is needed, because I don't think we have a proper right winger. So we need to. Oh, he's back now. So I'll let him have his floor now. What were you gonna say, Anna?
I just think last one. I think the players they're also to blame. It's not just us because we look the players and the manager in our face were more likely in that second half. So I think that's so far to blame. Declan Rice is shy. He is really shy.
No, he was good. Declan Rice was good. Money, we can both agree. Declan Rice, he made some good recoveries. He was good yesterday, man. I like Rice, man.
I'm not saying that he was bad necessarily. I mean, like, both Rice and Bellingham started off a little bit weak, but they grew into the game. And as I said, I mean, obviously Rice has some qualities, but he still needs to have that muscular presence of a Calvin Phillips beside him. So it might remain to be seen whether it'll be James Ward-Prowse or Jordan Henderson who will do that. And I think Henderson's on his last legs for both England and maybe to some extent Liverpool. So he will retire after this World Cup anyway. So, I mean, and I think it's because of that maybe at least partly Southgate felt the need to use the five sort of the farm of what. It was almost like a 3-4-3 in a way, but 3-4-2-1. But I still, think that tactically he needs to improve. So, Ollie, let's go to you. I think you wanted to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah, obviously first half was a bit boring. And then second half, 2-0 down, I thought it was over. A very good comeback. But I want my thoughts on Southgate. I tried to back him. I don't think he's the right man now. But whenever I'm negative about a manager, I always say is who's going to replace him. But yeah, I don't know whether he'll do if he manages in the World Cup. I don't know how well we'll do, but I'm not happy with the draw. I wouldn't even be happy with them because we wouldn't have been promoted in the Nations League. But look, I'm not looking forward to the World Cup. I wanted us to win it, but we're not going to win it. So, but let's go through before we move on. Huddersfield said a few things. Drone said a few things about the game. He said, "Brilliant game last night. It was certainly welcome that we actually managed to score some goals, but defensively, individually, errors yet again. I mean, Maguire's absolute nightmare yet again. Felt sorry for Pope, and Bellingham, I think, should start in the World Cup. Yeah, he was good, and especially the Saka impact sub as well. I thought was a good sub, but so yeah, we got
Before
one
you move
Arsenal.
on, before you move on,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you're not talking about Arsenal Tottenham because obviously that's a huge game, but this backing Maguire needs to stop now. It's getting ridiculous. Luke Shaw, mate, he needs to stop, and Rio Ferdinand, mate. But Rio Ferdinand, listen, he's gonna back every United player, but Luke Shaw, mate, for you to say, "Oh, but he did well in the Euros. We got a big squad." Listen, mate. Just be honest out there. Go on a press conference and be honest about the player. But Maguire, mate, it is what it is, man. If it's just shambles, mate. They're just muppets, man. I swear down. Like Luke Shaw is a muppet. Rio Ferdinand, mate, he needs to stop. He needs to stop backing them because honestly, it's getting embarrassing now. But that's ex-United legends for you. They'll back every United player. But yeah, that's my thoughts, man. You can move on to London Derby.
Yeah, of course, Arsenal playing Tottenham on Saturday. It's going to be a tough game, but I'm looking forward to it, because we haven't had football for a while. I'll go with you, Manny, first. What's your prediction, thoughts on the game?
Well, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be one of the biggest tests of Arteta's season, and he's going to be up against the manager, Antonio Conte, who, of course, as Hannah will know, is ex-Chelsea, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's going for Tottenham to win. And yeah. So So we're up against the Spurs side that has really done wonders in assembling a squad that is doing its best to challenge both domestically and in Europe. And yes, we all know about how he's struggled so far in the Champions League this season. But you know what? People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. We haven't exactly set the world alight in the Europa League either. And Conte has been able to employ a system where he's gotten the best out of a lot of the talent that he's brought in. The likes of Dejan Kulusevski and Ivan Perisic have been, very magisterial in their contribution. And of course, now that Heung-min Son is back in some semblance of form, he will only look a little bit more dangerous. And of course, having come off the bench so spectacularly against Leicester, to come up against an Arsenal side, it will be a challenge he will relish, and it's also going to be a huge test for Saliba and Gabriel. As for us, our forward line definitely looks good. Will it be as prolific as Kane and Son? It remains to be seen. I think this match will probably be decided in the midfield because while Spurs can boast a good quality midfield with, of course, Perisic and Kulusevski as mentioned, and a few others being able to run other teams ragged, we have a midfield which has been beset with an injury crisis, and I know that Partey pulled out of the Ghana friendly against Brazil as a precaution. I think reports have said that he should be fine. He was just left out as a precaution. But it will remain to be seen whether he will be completely fit to play that game. And then if we don't have him, we could struggle like we did against Manchester United. So again, that's a big test for us. So my prediction, I'm going to go for a draw because I think I do see both teams being able to cancel each other out, and this could very well be a test of Arteta's tactical ability. If he can find a way to nullify Perisic and Kulusevski, and also keep Son and Kane quiet, then he will have won half that battle. Because I don't know necessarily if Conte will have a plan B to be able to, counter that. Although he has won a few ugly games in addition to some of his more beautiful wins this season. So it should be a draw, and I definitely wouldn't mind a win. But I think I'm going to go for a draw, and I see goals in this game, 2-2.
Horace, what's your thoughts on the game? And
Yeah, the game, big test for Arteta to see if he can get a result. But I'm sure that if Arsenal do win, Arsenal fans will celebrate this like they won the Premier League title. But nah, but yeah, nah, I think it'll be a draw as well, man. Because Conte, the way he set up the season, I think they're unbeaten in 16 games in the Premier League, so they're doing quite well. Spurs, you can see a system out there from Conte, the style of football. So I just do think it'll be end to end. Both teams will try go for it, but at the end, it'll probably be. I think it'll be 1-1 draw. But I don't know, man, because Arsenal usually win at their stadium and then reverse fixture Tottenham. But something can happen, man. Surprise does happen, and it's called Premier League. It's called Premier League for a reason because Premier League does unexpected results. So you never know. There could be a draw. There could be a win. There can be even a loss for Arsenal. But I'm just saying a draw, man. But yeah, I know you're gonna back Arsenal to win, but I just think that Spurs will be up for like Kane. I think the midfield Højbjerg. I think they're sorted out their lineup, to be fair. So it's gonna be a very tough game.
It is. Hanno left. I don't know if he's going to join back. I wanted to get his thoughts on the game, but if he doesn't come back, it's Coach's Corner on YouTube and Instagram. And I just put the link up. Hopefully it works. If you want to join, Arsenal fans or whatever, because we've got three people at the moment, so it'd be nice to have more people. But no, moving on to my prediction. I'm going to back Arsenal in this one. You guys said a draw. I don't know why I'm confident. I think it'll be 2-1, maybe Arsenal. I think, probably Kane or Son will score, but we're at home, and I think, we need to win this game. Maybe Jesus to score. I hope Odegaard's fit and Zinchenko maybe. But
I think they are fit. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the Scotland-Ukraine match tonight, and I'll keep a lookout for Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Zinchenko watch. Yeah, but I just think it'll be a good game, to be fair. It's a lunchtime kickoff, so listen, lunchtime kickoffs, there's always unexpected results. I'm telling you this for I think the Man United game against Brentford was a lunchtime kickoff, if I'm not wrong, but if I am wrong, then I do. No, wait, was it Brighton? I think it was either Brighton or Brentford. One of those games. It was a lunchtime kickoff, and obviously United lost that game. So anything can happen, man. But I'm pretty sure if Arsenal win, that'll be good because I can say to Marnie that Arteta has proven you wrong. I'm joking. But if Arsenal do win, it's a great win for them. But then I think if it's a draw, then I guess Marnie was right the whole time about the questions about Arteta and whether he's right man. So we'll see.
Man. Huddersfield Town and Fan TV said, I personally think Arsenal have the better of Tottenham on Saturday. I'm going for a 2-1 win at the Emirates. So he says the same as me. He's confident for Arsenal. Big up the Added Time podcast as well. All right, I'm gonna maybe do a predicted lineup for the game. I think that Ramsdale will be in goal, hopefully. He was rested in the England game, so he should be fit. Saliba and Gabriel at centre back, right back. It's going to be tough. He's not really starting Tomiyasu, but I want Tomiyasu to play. That's just a predicted lineup, but probably Ben White will play. Left back, hopefully Zinchenko, but Tierney just in case. And then DMs maybe Xhaka and as well. Hopefully Partey's fit. Cam, if he's back, hopefully Odegaard, or I wouldn't mind Vieira, but I want Odegaard back. And then Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So not really a change lineup, unless Vieira's playing. Anything else about the game? We've done predictions. We've done the lineups. Let's move on. I know, obviously, Ores, you're a United fan. Let's talk about the Man City game. You seem quite confident about this game. Go on, talk about.
And I'm still unconfident. This one's the biggest derby on the weekend, in my opinion. I just think it's a better and biggest derby for me. Listen, don't get me wrong, City have been doing well. Obviously, Haaland, this and that. But listen, we've beaten 2 of the big 6 teams. Ten Hag's doing well, and I just think there's a good mentality now. But I just want consistency from us, and we have been. I think after that Brentford loss, we've been consistent now. There's a good feeling now in the atmosphere. So I'm backing the boys, man. I'm saying 2-1 win. I think Martinez will pocket Haaland. I know when I say that, yeah, there you go. When I say that, it confuses me, but he's done it last time. He's done it before, and I think he'll do it again. Varane was rested against Denmark for the Man United game. To be fair, no Man United players on international break go on injury, so that's a positive for us. Because every time when they go on international duty, they get injured. So now 0 injuries. Everyone's fit. Marnie's favorite player, Rashford, he will be fully fit. Sancho will be fit, hopefully. So, and Rashford loves scoring against City. So I'm backing the boys, man. I'm confident. I'm confident that Ten Hag will out. Hopefully, this doesn't get clipped up. But nah, man, I don't care. Clip up, man. We're gonna beat City, man. I'm confident, man. We're beating City, yeah. Malacia, hey, if Lewis Van Gaal was saying that he's the best player that he's ever seen in training, then that tells you. Malacia, he's been doing well. Listen, Malacia, for me, best left back in the Premier League. He's up there with Zinchenko. Money, what's that face? It's the truth. Malacia's been good. He's been good. No, people will say.
For how long has Malacia played in the Premier League, son?
He's played 5 games.
5 games. 5 games.
No, but Martin, come on, you can't. Shubham Mikatata, man. Varane's been good. Listen, our back 4 is solid. Diego Dalot, boy, he's been outstanding. Mourinho was right. He was right when he said he'll be one for the next 10 years for us. Midfield, I'm still concerned because McTominay, even though he's been playing that prime Paul Scholes, he needs to be consistent, and I think he has, but he still needs to be, because at the end of the day, it's McTominay, and he can play good against Arsenal and then play shit against, I don't know, Bournemouth. So McTominay needs to keep that up. Eriksen, by the way, oh my, I'm gonna swear already, but oh my fucking days, free agent on his £0, and Eriksen has been outstanding, mate. Eriksen, up to yourself. Anthony, I think he might score. There's something in my guts that saying Anthony might score. Bruno's doing well since he got that captain armband. He's been doing good. And yeah, I've spoken about Rashford. But yeah, man. Hopefully I think Martial should be fit, but I don't know what the lineup's going to be regarding to the attack. But I'm confident, man. I'm back in the red side.
Yeah, Manny, what do you think about this game?
Oh, I mean, let me tell you something. I'm reminded of a wonderful comment that Ryan just made. United actually do have a pretty decent record against Manchester City. And I think the last time United beat City was, I think, when Ole, of course, was the manager. So mock Ole all you want, Orest, but he was able to get some results. And at least tactically, he seemed, switched on when it mattered at times. I think things just fell apart quickly before he got sacked. But You know, as a neutral, it is interesting to sort of compare and contrast the two teams, and there is a part of me that does share Oris' optimism that with the way the team have recovered, especially speaking as an Arsenal fan who saw his side get blown away, if not completely dominated, but at least in terms of clinicality and taking their chances. You know, United were good value for their win, and I think we should accept that. I think the way they've recovered after that shocker against Brentford was magnificent. What Ten Hag did, he cracked the whip, took away their Sunday off day, had them running, made the changes he needs to make. He dropped the two England starters and rejigged the defence. He's got the midfield working, and certainly McTominay has cleaned up his act, and he looks really good now. The only problem is, if you were to take a look at City's lineup and compare them to United's, I think the one weakness which City could have, could very well be in the back four, because someone like Ruben Diaz, for instance, has been found wanting on a few occasions. If you can get yourself behind him, you're going to give yourself a half chance of scoring. And certainly that defense doesn't look to be too well gelled. And with Ederson, you know, he started when he first came to the Premiership, he was completely solid. Everyone thought he was all that, but then he started making a few mistakes. And the reason why he's still being picked by Guardiola is because the reserve keepers at City right now are a bunch of nobodies. I don't know who they are. Nobody knows who they are. At one point, they even had the likes of Stuart Taylor, Richard Wright, and Scott Carson as third keepers, for crying out loud, at the end of their careers. Go figure. And when you take a look at their midfield, for example, I really as great as Eriksen is, he will, and Casemiro are, it will be interesting to see how they pair up against Ilkay Gundogan and maybe Bernardo Silva. Certainly, you can have someone like Riyad Mahrez coming on as a sub. I know he's more of a forward. He's more of a. I mean, as a midfielder, he does like to go forward. If you can bring him on, that's really good. And of course, the form that Erling Haaland is in, you know, I don't know if anyone can stop him right now. I know he scored against. He scored for Norway, but it was sort of futile. But it is really, really difficult to see him being stopped, and a lot will depend on how Varane and Lisandro Martinez will combine in the back four, because I definitely don't see Maguire getting picked. So that should make Orest very happy indeed. And Malacia as well. He's only played 5 games, and will this be too big of an occasion for him? I don't know. So it's hard to say. There is a part of me as a neutral that would love to see United win, because, I mean, obviously, as Arsenal fans, Ollie, you and I can agree that if City lose, it will be wonderful for us. And the only problem is, I think Guardiola has seen this far too many times before. I think he now has an idea of the type of team he wants to play. So I would probably go so far to say that this could very well end up being a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. I think the defense should be able to shut Haaland out. But again, you know, never mind Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan. You cannot forget about Kevin De Bruyne. No. It's just a case of, you know, light the touch paper and stand back. I think, though, it could be a draw, because maybe Ten Hag will be tactically switched on, and he will make sure that Eriksen and Casemiro and McTominay, 2 of those 3 will be switched on and will be able to play. And the defense should be able to shut down Haaland. But, yeah, I'll stick my neck out and go for 1-1.
Okay. For me, I don't know. On paper, it's a City win, but United could get something out of this game. I don't want to go with a draw every game. It's just a prediction, but I think City will win. I think it will, but obviously, if they do lose, it will be good for us, as Manny said, with the table situation. But they're at home; they've had a good record, but it's going to be their toughest, probably, home game. They've been winning, scoring a lot of goals at home. Maybe a 1-1. If United were to win, maybe 2-1. But it's going to be tough to predict. On paper, Man City will win, but United might be up for this game. They might win, or they would take a draw. Maybe, I don't know. But No, let's see. Comments here. City haven't looked best defensively at times. As well Arsenal for the matter. Okay, let me. I haven't got many more topics left.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, you did say you wanted to have a lineup though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, line up for Arsenal, suppose. Yeah.
I'll do that way.
I'm just checking on Zinchenko, and I will see if he. I do plan to watch it tonight, and obviously I'll be interested to see how well Scotland do. Scotland only need to have a draw to guarantee promotion to Group A, of course, and it will be something seeing Scotland leapfrog both England and Wales. But cynics will probably tell them, enjoy your time up there, lads. You won't last for very long. Apologies to any Scots who might be watching this, by the way. But yeah, so if Zinchenko is fit, it will be a boost for the Ukraine, because clearly without him and one or two others, they looked absolutely toothless when they played up in Glasgow. But the Ukraine will know that they have a lot riding on this, and after the disappointment of not being able to qualify for the World Cup, at least they should be able to earn promotion to Group A. But I'm backing Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll check if Zinchenko's fit or not.
Yeah. Manny, what's your predicted lineup for the Arsenal game?
Ooh, again. No. I don't know if it's necessarily a tough one. I seriously despise the experiment of having Ben White play at right back. But if it seems clear in Arteta's mind that Tomiyasu just doesn't suit the style of play that he wants, he will probably keep Ben White at right back. So, as usual, Ramsdale will be in goal, and it's probably good that he didn't play, because if he had gotten an injury, it wouldn't have looked good. Centre backs, as usual, Gabriel and Saliba. Left back is going to be key, because I will say right now that I would sooner have Kieran Tierney. It's interesting. It's funny, really, because he played in a couple of games for Scotland, of course, and got taken off. Indications are that they might just be precautions, and I think it's fair to say that he will look to want to start if fit, and I think he will relish the challenge. But if Zinchenko is fit, then maybe Arteta will look to have someone of his solidity and dynamism, especially when it comes to helping out the midfield. And the midfield, well, Partey may be a bit of a doubt. So it's going to be, and I think El Neni is still injured. So who do we play? I mean, I don't want to see Xhaka going too far, going really far back and playing it that far in front of the defense. He needs to play in his position. Odegaard, if fit, will play. So I don't know. I mean, do we possibly bring on someone like Vieira or Sambi Lokonga if El Neni's not fit? We'll have to look and see. So it could probably be Vieira who looks a lot more composed, a lot more poised. So those will be my three midfielders. And then, of course, Saka looks a little bit better. He'll be buoyed from his super sub role for England. So he will obviously want to be one of the central attackers. So yeah, so he and Odegaard will combine in a way. And also on the left, it could very well be Martinelli. And then so 1, 4, 3, and then I don't know who's left, because obviously I have to pick Jesus, and I don't know, I can't remember who else. Just hold on a minute. Xhaka, Odegaard, Vieira, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. The only issues will probably be at left back. Will it be Tierney or Zinchenko? Vieira should be able to replace Partey if Partey isn't fit. And then, of course, it's the usual Saka, Jesus, Martinelli up front.
Yeah, RS, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Do you want to do a predicted lineup for the United game, mate.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Let me just get the squad up. All right. Obviously, the head is fine because why not? Back four will be the same. Diego Dalot, Martinez, Varane, Malacia, and then midfield. This is what I would do. I'll play Casemiro, I'll play McTominay, and I'll play Ericsson, and then the front three it would be Anthony on the right, Sancho on the left, and Rashford up top.
So Christmas tree, huh, Arist? 4-3-2-1.
Yeah, of course. I'll drop Bruno, man. I'll drop Bruno. I'm a massive fan of him, but I'll drop Bruno because I think we need that strength in midfield with Casemiro and McTominay. And if you compare Ericsson and Bruno Fernandes, he's been the better this season. It has to be Ericsson for me. So I'm starting Ericsson as the number 10, McTominay, Casemiro as the midfield duo, and yeah, hopefully United win this game.
No, but here's the thing. I thought Bruno has certainly looked good this season. I don't know why you want to.
Yes, but
I mean, I don't know if I personally would have him ahead of Sancho, but if you want Sancho to play, then that's your prerogative.
yeah, I understand Bruno on the left. Yeah, that could work. But if you think about it, if you look at City's fullbacks, you know, Walker and Cancelo, we need. Even though I don't think Sancho's that fast, but we do need pace in our wingers and our strike force. So that's. I wouldn't mind playing Bruno on the left, but we need pace on our attacks, so to hurt them deadly. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. It's a 2:00 game UK time on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to it, man. Because see, Ten Hag used to work on the Pep at Bayern, so we'll see if he can out tactic him.
Not that you might care, though, but Ronaldo's injured. He might be. I saw that he was injured.
He just got a broken nose. He's okay. No, he's okay. He's just been bleeding a lot, but he's okay. He's okay. But listen, Ronaldo's not going into that starting 11. Sorry how deep, but no, he's not starting. He is not starting on Sunday, mate, because we need pace. Ronaldo doesn't have that. Even though he may be good for aerial duels and headers, but listen, we need pace. That's what we need the most. Ronaldo, for me, I would bring him on if we are drawing or if we are winning comfortably like 2-0. So, yeah, man. All I'm saying, I think a lot of people will watch this game. I think it's going to be, I personally, I think it's going to be the most viewed more than the North London derby, but we'll see.
We'll comment.
No, Huddersfield, he's not, man. He's not.
Ronaldo is made.
Last season, he started against Liverpool City and we got smacked our asses. Liverpool smacked the arse out of Old Trafford 5-0, and Ronaldo played that game. City, oh my days, mate. I don't know if you guys remember, but City away on the Ralph Rangnick, I think there was a stat 95% City ball possession. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. That's not good enough. But listen, we played two teams of the Big Six. Ten Hag's beating those two clubs. Now let's make that 3 of the Big Six. And for me, if we do that, if we beat City, we can definitely compete for the league. Not win it, compete. Compete or leave. Calm down.
Okay.
Marnie, do you think we can compete for the league, in your honest opinion?
Who? United?
Yeah.
I think you can. The only problem is there might still be a few teething issues, as it were, with the with the squad, and it's still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit like what you can say, a baby which is growing well, but somehow still needs to be kept in the incubator. You know what I mean? Because clearly the shock of the Brentford defeat still lingers in a way, and I think Ten Hag has done a good thing by making sure the players remember the hurt and the shame of that game and make sure and has told them to make sure it never happens again. It reminds me, with a rugby connection, you might be interested, Ollie, in that film Invictus with Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman, where Matt Damon plays the South African captain, Francois Pienaar. After his team lose a match quite heavily, he leads them into the changing room, where there's some beers waiting in front of them. And as Hannah will tell you, South Africans do love their beer. I mean, obviously the poor bloke can't drink himself. Wait until he gets to the age of, I don't know what the legal age is in South Africa. I'm assuming it would be 18, just as it is in Europe. But Damon tells his boys to have some beer and asks them how it tastes. And they say, it tastes disgusting. And he says, now that you know how bad it tastes after defeat, you should promise yourselves that you should never, ever again experience that feeling of drinking after a loss and not enjoying that beer. And then they throw their cans all over the floor. And so I think it's fair to say that United will never rest. They're not going to rest on their laurels. They will remember the Brentford defeat. And if we had that mentality at Arsenal last season when we had that run where we lost 3 straight to, I think it was Southampton, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Southampton, where I don't even recollect I think we scored against Brighton, but that was it. If we had that mentality, it would have made quite a bit of difference. But again, we lost those 2 games against Tottenham and Newcastle, and that was it. End of the Champions League dream. So that is something that Arteta will have to learn, but that is also something that Ten Hag has inspired in his players. So, Oris, credit to Ten Hag and your team and how they've recovered. You could potentially challenge for the league, but all I'm saying is calm down.
Yeah,
there will
of
be
course,
some more
no, of
setbacks.
course, I'll calm down myself, but I'm just saying if we beat that's 3 of the big 6 teams that I would beating. So I'm calm down, man. I'm not gonna get over excited, but I'm just saying I am taking it game by game, but these players can disappoint United fans anytime as possible. There'll be one game where they will just disappoint us. So I'm just gonna take game by game.
Yeah, Orest, I know I have to go now, so
obviously I've got a stream in about literally 12 minutes. So Manchester Derby preview, big one. Make sure you guys tune into Orest's Football on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big up Ollie and Marnie as always. Good stream. I like this stream, but yeah, man, subscribe to Orest's Football on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Orest's Football, and yeah, big up Ollie for having me on.
Yeah, big up.
And big up Marnie. Take care, guys. Take care.
Manny, do you want to talk about the Ukraine-Scotland game? Obviously, you said you're going to watch it, and
yeah.
The it's one of the biggest games tonight for the United Kingdom. What's your thoughts? Do you see Scotland winning this game?
Well, as I've told you, Ollie, they only need to have a draw, but I think Steve Clarke has made it clear that the boys will not be set out to draw. They do have to go for the win. And interestingly enough, when we saw them play the Ukraine and the Republic of Ireland in the last 2 games, we saw, I think it's fair to say, the best and the worst of the Scots. You know, Scotland took the game to the Ukraine, which admittedly were very, very toothless without several important players. And, that they were aggressive. They were knocking at that door, and eventually they were able to score the goals they wanted. And it was a result that they deserved. But against Ireland, they looked a bit tentative. They allowed the Irishmen to sort of come at them. The Irish took the lead, and they could have scored a few more. But then eventually Scotland were able to pull themselves together. They did what they couldn't do in Dublin. In Glasgow, they got their act together in the second half and ended up with the win. So this will be interesting. I think it is quite fair to say that the Ukraine team might still be suffering with the lack of a few players, although we will find out about the fitness levels of their players later on. Zinchenko is obviously a huge loss, and I think Yarmolenko will be feeling quite a bit of the pressure. Their normal first choice goalkeeper Bushkan was also injured, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes back into the lineup. Although frankly, I don't rate him either. I thought he was his handling during the Euros was absolutely pitiful, and how he got into the team ahead of their captain Andrei Piatov was a mystery. Piatov's now retired, of course. So I'll be looking at that. I think Scotland also do have some injury worries because quite a few, Tierney should be more of a precaution. I don't know if he will start. Maybe he'll get a few minutes later on. But it will be interesting because both Nathan Patterson and Aaron Hickey, the right backs, sort of limped off after a few injuries. So does he call up Stephen O'Donnell to the squad now as an emergency, or does he call up another defender or two. I think Clark does seem to have a bit of some sort of antipathy towards O'Donnell for some reason. So I don't see the Motherwell defender coming back in. But yeah, their midfield, their center of the defense looks really good. I mean, with Jack Hendry and McKenna, they did quite well with regard to keeping the offside trap well set and making sure that the Ukrainians fell into it more often than not. And in midfield, they certainly look okay with Captain John McGinn running the show. And then, of course, you've got Lyndon Dykes, Chris Christie, and Che Adams, of course.
Yeah.
Those three, of course, three doesn't go into two, but when you can bring on one of them as a sub, it was Dykes against the Ukraine, and it was Christie, I think. It was Adams against Ireland, and they can all make contributions. So offensively, they look good. Defensively, it could be a worry. And it will be interesting to see what type of formation Clark uses. I am actually going to go for a tight Scottish win because I think, again, I just think that the Ukraine will be, physiologically a little bit weaker still. Especially if Zinchenko won't be fit, then it's going to be a bit of a problem. And I think I will back them to rise to the occasion because they will be hurting after losing to the Ukraine in the World Cup playoff semi-final. So revenge is definitely on the agenda. And yeah, it should be a tight win. I will go for 2-1. And I don't see Gordon getting another clean sheet, but if he does, it'll be another feather in his cap. In his 73rd cap tonight if he plays. And the reason why he looked a bit shaky against Ireland with his feet is because earlier that day he had received news that his partner Summer Hall had given birth to a baby boy, and he had to go to the hospital, come back, have a few hours of sleep, and then get ready for the game. And then he still produced a couple of big saves, but looked perhaps a little bit shaky with the ball at his feet. But I think now that the jitters have gone, he'll be fine and he'll know how to cope. So, yeah, it should be a good Scotland win. I'm going for 2-1.
Yeah, and there's a question for you in the comments. Do you think Ukraine will pose more problems at home at Hampden? Ukraine did struggle.
Well, here's the thing, Ryan. You will know that given the situation with the Ukraine, they're not playing in their home country. They will actually be playing in Poland. And I know that because Poland and the Ukraine do share a border. In fact, both of them actually co-hosted the 2012 European Championships. There will be some good support for the Ukraine. The only problem is I can just see that with the Ukraine, the pressure will probably get to them in a way. And I think the Scots have faced some similar tests when they were in their earlier qualifying rounds. So I think, given how important this game is, I think they will step up for the occasion. So they could cause some problems, but that would only be if they have a full strength team. And of course, there's still going to be some doubts over Alexander Zinchenko, and of course, his fitness will also be pivotal for Arsenal's match against Tottenham. I don't know if the Ukrainian coach will want to play him unless he's 100% fit. So, yeah, I think Scotland should hold the aces here. But again, Scotland have to keep their concentration because, they have shown that if they let their foot off the jugular, they can be tackled very easily.
Yeah, my thoughts. I think Scotland will probably win this game. You never know about Ukraine, though. They could win. But I fancy Scotland to win. Although Ukraine could be favourites, but I'll probably go for a 2-1 Scotland. It could be either way. But no, I think it. Let's move on to one more international game because it's quite a big game. Portugal versus Spain. It's quite a good game.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Manny, what's your thoughts and prediction?
Well, seeing how ominous Portugal looked against the Czech Republic, I mean, they showed the Czech Republic no mercy. Even when the Czech Republic had a penalty, they couldn't score, and they went ahead and really put them to the sword. And seeing how the Spanish team, stumbled against Switzerland, I was lucky enough to watch that game. I thought the Swiss were very efficient in the way they played, and certainly the likes of Sheridan Shaqiri and a few others really bossed the midfield and really took it to the Spanish defense. And I seriously have no idea what Luis Enrique sees in Unai Simon. I do not rate him for his handling at times. Most of these Spanish goalkeepers, Ollie, have the ability to be great shot stoppers, but the problem is they are very poor when it comes to handling the ball, and sometimes on crosses they cannot be they can't be trusted at times. Even Iker Casillas had that same problem, as did Jose Reina with Liverpool and Spain. And I don't think we may ever see a Spanish goalkeeper who is a lot more developed all round. I think De Gea has developed his game by leaps and bounds, so it would be absolutely outrageous, in my opinion, if Luis Enrique doesn't pick him for the squad. I actually believe that he should be still their first choice keeper, but of course he had his own problems in 2018. And I just see the Spanish defense not being able to cope with Poland's attacking might. In midfield, obviously, they still have Sergio Busquets running the show, and certainly a few other people like Gavi and Ferran Torres and a few others. Marco Asensio has come back into the team, and he had a pretty good game that day. And certainly in the forward line, it also looks to be a bit of a worry because Alvaro Morata wasn't picked to play. But again, they could also call on the likes of Borja Iglesias, who could cause a few problems. And it will remain to be seen what Spain will do, but I just don't think that they will have enough to stop Portugal. No, this should be a very routine 2-0 win for the Portuguese, who look very, very ominous, and they could rest quite a few of their players and still put on a top quality show. I don't know if Ronaldo will play, but even without Ronaldo, this team just looks too damn strong.
Who will play instead of Ronaldo then, do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head who would play, but they do have some good forward options. So we'll have to see what transpires. I don't even maybe the Portuguese coach might decide to play two attackers instead and go to a 4-4-2, because I don't know if he'd want to be in a situation where a comparatively lesser experienced forward is up on his own. He might want to take the game to the Spaniards. There's no doubt about that. And certainly with Fernandez and Dalot and a few others coming in, Rafael Leao and a few others, they're going to be too strong, just too strong. Simple as that.
Yeah, this will be another interesting game. As I think Portugal could win this game, but don't write off Spain. They've got a decent team, but I think I was going to predict a draw in this game, but I probably see a Portugal win 2-1 maybe. Although looking at Spanish team, they haven't really got much attacking threat. Morata, he's all right. But both teams, I don't think they have the best keepers. I mean, Diogo Costa, I don't know. Diogo Costa, I'm not sure, but I don't know about him. And Simon, is it? I think.
Yeah, I told you about Simon, and as for Diogo Costa, he had a decent game for Portugal, and I think he's more of the reserve keeper. But their first choice keeper is the former Wolves goalkeeper, Rui Patricio.
Oh, right.
And he's obviously got experience. He was, of course, their starting goalkeeper when they won Euro 2016. So, I mean, they're well stocked on the goalkeeping front. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. They got Dalot as well and Cancelo, two Premier League players. I mean, doesn't mean anything, but we could look out for them in that game. And then, I think this is the last of the international break, the Euro Nations games. There's a few games today as well: Switzerland, Czech Republic, Ireland, Armenia, Albania, Iceland, Norway, Serbia, Sweden, Slovenia, Greece, Northern Ireland. That'll be interesting, and Kosovo, Cyprus as well. But no, let's big up Arrest for joining as well. He's left, but big up Ryan in the comments as well for all these comments. Big up, big up his Arrest Looks Football. Go subscribe. They've got a stream in about a minute. Or got a stream in a minute. I'm not sure if I'm going to join. I might join. I'm not sure. But no, we might wrap up now or in a minute. I mean, it could have been longer, but there isn't really much to talk about. But big up Manny, and big up Hannah as well, who did join Coach's Corner. He did leave. But no, it would have been obviously nice to get some more Arsenal fans on, but I tried Joel, he isn't available, and DJ Crate isn't available as well. But it was nice to have Manuel to talk about the game. He's predicting a draw. I'm going with an Arsenal win. The few last comments from Ryan. He says Spain used to be unstoppable force, and now they gone downhill a bit. Yeah, true. Great stream. Big up Manny and Ollie. Yeah. So as we always do at the end of every stream, Manny, where can we find you?
Yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel of my own, obviously, but I would like to try and get one very soon, and maybe in the next few days or weeks that could happen. Until then, you can catch me on social media. My Twitter handle is Thungatheroad1981. That's my surname and my year of birth. And you can also catch me on Instagram at MannyThungatheroad1981. That's my full name and my year of birth. And on YouTube, you can catch me on a few YouTube channels like Del Boy Gunner TV, my personal favorite, S Feetly TV, another good channel which is being set up for awareness of childhood liver disease in the UK. Oris Talks Football, obviously. Hanno's Coach Corner, terrific channel, great guy. And DJ Sinclair as well. Thanks a lot for having me, mate. It's good to chat with. It's good to chat with you as well, and I really love our talks together. And also King's Football Show with King Said, and the Football for Thought podcast with NS Sports TV. And you can also catch me making a few appearances as a neutral fan on the Up the Cherries and All Departments channel, which is a Bournemouth fan channel. I've made a few appearances there, and I might make a few more in the coming days. So, yeah, I mean, I just go wherever I feel welcome and feel wanted, and I'm happy to say what I want to say. Let the chips fall where they may. And with that, ladies and gents, I bid you good day.
Yeah, big up, Manny. And I'll just do where you can find me. You can find me on here, just SINCLAIRO, and on Instagram you can find me ollie.sinclair556. That's my personal one. I use that for personal stuff. And if you want to find me on a fan page, Aaron_Ramsdale fan page 1 as well. And for socials like Xbox and PlayStation, DM me for that. And also the final one to talk about is maybe TikTok Ollie is Epic556. I haven't posted on there for a while. I might post again soon. But no, big up Manny, Arrest, everyone who's joined. But yeah, also want to say, obviously I hit it a while ago, but thanks for 1K again. I did say what I wanted to do for 1K, a thank you video, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. I might do that soon, but no, I'm not sure when hopefully my next stream will be soon. Not sure when it is, but it'll be nice to have some more guests, and hopefully, the ones that have been in here as well. But yeah, big up everyone. We're going to end the stream now, so. But yeah, we talked about the game, we talked about everything else, so big up everyone. And yeah, make sure you tune into Arrest Talks Football as well. See you guys.
Time you stay for me. Outside we lose, we give them chills, we ain't the same, buddy. Cold when the sun goes down, I hit my blunt. I'm glad you came.